Bitcoin's biggest buyer is back. Michael Saylor paused buying this week. We have Elon embracing Bitcoin. We have new suggestions on how to buy Bitcoin coming from the US government here very soon. XRP is moving up. The US is sending Ethereum to Coinbase to sell like this just today. And we have new tariffs by Donald J. Trump. Let's talk about all this. There's so much going on, and I have not been able to sit down and make a video until right now because we've been coming back from the cottage, coming back from vacation. Let me know what you did for the 4th of July. If it was anything fun, or if you're outside the country, let me know what you did just in general over the weekend. Now, Bitcoin is falling down. You can see Bitcoin's at 107.5. The traditional markets are down as well, over 1% based on what just happened. Trump announcing some new tariffs. Now, if you do want to buy this dip, it's typically been a good thing to buy dips. Any minus 1% day, you would be happy having bought by now because we continue to hit new all-time highs on the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. You know, even where we are now would have been an all-time high up until like last week or the week before. Bitcoin, you know, it seems weak. People think it seems weak, but it actually just had its highest weekly close. And we had, over the weekend, Trump extending the tariff pause, which I thought would reinvigorate the markets a bit, but he's given some more news on that here today. But he did sign the big, beautiful bill, printing a lot of money, even giving every U.S. child like $1,000 in the S&P 500, starting at birth. So, I mean, they're signaling all over the place. There's going to be a lot of money printed. So if you do want to long this market, there are links underneath the video to, for example, BitUniX. You can start trading there in just a few minutes, and it's a great place to trade. People have been loving it. I love it. You don't have to KYC. You don't need a VPN. I do have a link now to MEXC as well if you want to check it out. They are giving some loss protection so you can like make your first trade. And if you lose money, they'll even pay you back up to a certain point, so check their terms and conditions. But there's a link to that. And there's always a link to BYDeFi and BTCC as well. If you do want to join the Telegram, I post videos early in there and some exclusive videos, so check that out. It's just a channel, so you won't go back and forth with other people. You'll just be pushed content from me when I post in there. Now, like I said, the markets are weak today. We have the traditional markets down over 1%, and that's mostly because of this. Trump announced a 25% tariff on Japan and South Korea. So people are thinking, okay, maybe he'll reduce tariffs. Maybe it's going to be 10% for a lot of these countries. And then he came out and gave this 25% tariff. Now they just announced even more tariffs, 40% tariffs on Myanmar, 40% on Laos, 30% on South Africa, 25% on Malaysia, 25% on Kazakhstan, which I haven't even looked at how much trade we do with them or they do with us. So I'm not sure the impact. I don't really think it's going to slow down the economy too much. I don't think we do too much trade with these countries. But again, there will be people diving into this, a lot of economists looking at this. And to be clear, Trump has pushed back the tariffs again to August 1. I don't know if these start right away, these tariffs that were just discussed today. But for the most part, nothing's really happened with these tariffs. We continue to hear scary numbers and they get whittled down, talked down to more manageable levels. So I wouldn't freak out because of these tariffs. At the end of the day, I think we're going to have rate cuts. We're going to see a lot of these tariffs get taken down to maybe 10, 15, 20%, 30%. And then the markets will get calm after we know what's going to happen. But this has been months and months of uncertainty, 3 months now of uncertainty. Now, don't be surprised if we see a little bit of selling from the Bitcoin ETFs today. It's the first, it's not the first day of the quarter, but with these new tariffs after holiday weekends, don't be surprised if there's a little bit of volatility. The market's falling down, so it could be a sign that we're seeing a little bit of selling. But, I think Bitcoin's going more mainstream. So even if we see a day of outflows, we're still going to see a lot of inflows. Elon Musk was asked will the American Party embrace Bitcoin? Elon making this new American Party instead of Republicans or Democrats. I think it's a little bit more libertarian or maybe even socialist. He said in the past that he has called himself a socialist. But he was asked if they would embrace Bitcoin, and he said, fiat is hopeless, so yes. Yeah, obviously, Elon probably has a bad taste in his mouth from trying to go out and make budget cuts, and then Trump comes out here and just says, hey, we're gonna raise the debt ceiling by $4 or $5 trillion. We're gonna raise the deficit by a couple $1 trillion every year. So yeah, I'm sure that he's very frustrated with putting in all that time and work, taking away from his companies, and then it just being washed away by politicians wanting to print money. So obviously, Elon has already bought Bitcoin in the past for several of his companies, but it seems like maybe he'll embrace it a little bit more hardcore, especially if he's frustrated with Donald Trump. MSTR reported $14 billion in total Bitcoin fair value appreciation in Q2 of 2025. This is massive. This is in the ballpark of like what Microsoft, Meta, Google do. Of course, this is not consistent. So you have to look at how they made this money, right? This is not like something that you can bank on every single quarter, them going from 14 to 15 to 16, 17, 18, 20, 25. Now, I mean, if Bitcoin continues to appreciate, yeah, it's going to go up, but essentially they're a Bitcoin vehicle. So if Bitcoin goes down, they could also lose money. Still amazing though, for $110 billion company to have appreciation of 14 billion. That's awesome. So good for them. They did not purchase Bitcoin. It looks like this week. Yesterday he said sometimes you just have to hodl. Typically they don't do that. They don't purchase around the end of the quarter. They almost have like a blackout period. It seems like right around the end of the quarter, then also or the beginning of the quarter, and then also like right around when they announce earnings as well. They did announce though that they are going to have a $4.2 billion, I think it's Strife or Stride or something at the money offering. So they are raising money to go buy more Bitcoin in the future. So we do have other companies that are buying Bitcoin as well, like Metaplanet. They are acquiring 2,205 Bitcoin for about $240 million. They're buying consistently. We have Similar Scientific acquiring another 187 Bitcoin for $20 million and achieving a Bitcoin yield of 29% year to date. Then we have smaller companies like BB. I think this is, I don't even know, maybe Bitcoin Group or something. No, DDC Enterprise. So they're acquiring 230 Bitcoin, bringing their total to 368. So they increased a significant amount. It's funny, you can I feel like you can almost tier these, like Michael Saylor and, well, we'll just say Michael Saylor is like S tier. We have Metaplanet being A tier, stackers, Similar Scientific being B tier, then, maybe something like this being C tier, and then there are smaller companies that buy like, 2 or 3, and then some that buy fractions. So it's kind of funny. You could kind of grade them in that way. The blockchain group also acquired 116 Bitcoin for about 10.7 million. Now they have about 2,000 Bitcoin. So so many people stacking. Of course, like I said, we could see some outflows from the ETFs today, but the market is open for the week. We have I don't even remember the last time that we saw a full week of outflows from BlackRock. So I would assume they're going to come out and buy some more Bitcoin this week. We do have the OTC desks running dry. Like, this is the lowest amount of OTC Bitcoin we've seen in a decade. I think it is 155,000 Bitcoin. So when Michael Saylor buys and when BlackRock buys, and they're buying 10,000 Bitcoin a week, they go through that OTC desk pretty quickly. Of course, there are people selling Bitcoin as well. So it's not like whatever they buy is automatically drained. There are people selling, but there are more buyers than sellers right now. So the OTC desks continue to run dry. There are rumors too that the Trump administration is going to publish a report on Bitcoin and crypto around July 22nd. So just a few weeks from now. This could include recommendations on funding a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Okay. That would be interesting. I'll have to dig into this report when it comes out, Of course, this does not mean that they're going to start buying. I'm sure there are going to be approval processes and stuff, but yeah, this could be interesting. And again, like some things like this don't affect the price directly, but it shows you the direction countries are going, or politicians or companies or banks are going. And it's still really bullish. And again, even though people feel like we're not in a great place, Bitcoin just recorded its highest weekly close ever. We're within 5% of all-time highs, and there's so much uncertainty. So yeah, I still feel very bullish on where we're at right now. I'm not worried about us being at 107,000. I mean, look at this. We're at 107.7 thousand. If we zoom out, let's look at the 1 hour. We continue to put higher lows in place. Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. Imagine we bottom out at 107,000. How crazy is that? How great is that we're at 107,000 and people are feeling bearish? That's just crazy. At least it feels like people feel bearish. There's not much excitement right now. Now, the U.S. government apparently just transferred $219,000 worth of Ethereum to Coinbase. Please, Mr. President, you promised us a lot of winnings, Ash Crypto says. So they might be selling off some Ethereum. Ethereum is, I think, down a little bit on the day, down 2%. BTC is down about 1.3%. One crypto that is up right now, at least last time I looked, is XRP. It's up like 2.5%. It could be because they applied for a bank license or bank charter from the OCC. Last week, Brad Garlinghouse said, if approved, we would have both state via NYDFS and federal oversight, a new and unique benchmark for trust in the stablecoin market. Of course, they do have RLUSD, so a lot of people are excited about that, this possible bank license. So yeah, pretty exciting stuff. Apparently there was a huge inflow too, $550 million XRP buy on Upbit in the last hour. So yeah, maybe someone knows something. Maybe there's some big approval coming. Let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. I really do appreciate it. Of course, we do have CPI and PPI later this week, so be on the lookout for that. That's actually, I think, tomorrow and Wednesday. So yeah, be ready. That could definitely shake up the markets and could, I think, make us rebound very quickly or send us down lower. Obviously, the market does not want high tariffs and no chance at rate cuts, but if we have good numbers come in again, I really just don't know how Powell can say that we need to keep rates high. If we continue to see low inflation, even if the job market's pretty good, if we see low inflation for 4 or 5, 6 months, and we've seen it for 3 months, tomorrow would indicate a 4th month. If we see it for that long, you would think that it would just benefit everyone to have rates come down, even if they come down slowly, like a quarter point, and then wait a meeting, and then another quarter point, and then wait a meeting. It's not like we're going to see rampant inflation from a quarter point reduction, but it could definitely help the economy. Let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. I really do appreciate it. Again, you can check out the links if you want to start trading. I like trading. I think it's actually a great way of getting extra exposure. And I don't do this with my whole portfolio. I do it with a small percentage, but it can give you really great returns. And actually, I took profits. I had a partial stop loss on this trade that I have here, this Bitcoin 7X I'm up 670% on. I got all my initial out. Right, I took out, I think it was 15% of the trade. So I got more than my entire initial out. And now I have $18,000 in profits just sitting there, just waiting for the next big move. When we move up, let's say we move up to 120, I'm going to be printing money. And of course, if we fall down too, right, this is the great thing about just like not getting too aggressive, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 X's at the right time. If we go down 20%, I'm still significantly in the profit, and I'm not even close to being liquidated. We'd have to fall down 50% plus for me to get liquidated, and that's if I don't add any more margin. So yeah, if you want to start trading, there are links underneath the video. BLOFIN has a special trading competition going on right now too. You can see this is actually on BLOFIN that I have these trades. These are trades from a very long time ago. And yeah, if you just do it right, you can just sit on them for a long time and make a significant amount of money. Of of course, let me know your thoughts on this underneath the video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't be worried out there. Just continue to do your thing. Make a plan, stick to it. Thanks so much. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.